Imagine a desert at dusk where the last drops of water hang like jewels in the dying light. You search, you thirst, you crave, and in that moment your mind sharpens, your desire becomes acute, and your inner voice whispers, "If this disappears, I vanish too." Now imagine you're not in a desert but in a room full of abundance. Water is plentiful, there's a chill in the air, and there's comfort all around. The thirst fades, the jewel loses its glow. What changed? The scarcity. Across centuries, philosophers, strategists, and keen observers of human nature have noticed this. When something is rare, when a window closes, when the supply seems limited, the mind shifts, the heart accelerates, and the decision becomes urgent. That urgency carries power. Niccolo Machiavelli, the political realist of Renaissance Italy, made alliances, observed wars, and devised strategies. He knew that scarcity is not only about resources, it is about perception, it is about timing, it is about control. When the pendulum of plenty swings back toward emptiness, when a fortress seems about to fall, when the crowd senses fewer seats than players, human nature tilts. In our modern world, we feel this in many subtle ways: the limited edition, the last remaining, and the for a short time only. But more dangerous than a marketing tag is the internal landscape of scarcity. The sense that we are running out of time, opportunity, relevance, or influence. That sense becomes a force. And when manipulated or misunderstood, it becomes a quiet tyranny over our decisions, our relationships, and our identity. In this video, we will explore the dangerous power of scarcity, the way Machiavelli articulated it, how psychology explains it, and how it plays out in everyday life, not in loud declarations or abrupt calls to action, but in the hushed corridors of the mind. Because sometimes the greatest power lies not in what is present, but in what is missing, so settle in. We're about to trace 6 subtle truths. 6 ways scarcity shapes you, shifts you, and commands you. And by the end, you might see how scarcity has been the silent director of your choices and how you might reclaim the stage. Number 1, scarcity as strategy. Machiavelli's principle of timing. Machiavelli believed that timing and perception were everything. In his writings, particularly The Prince, he warned that opportunity is like fortune, swift, unpredictable, and fleeting. Those who hesitate are left behind. In the Renaissance world of politics, where alliances shifted as quickly as the wind, power belonged not to the strongest or the most moral, but to the most perceptive. A wise ruler, Machiavelli said, must sense when the tide of favor changes, when a friendship becomes a liability, when resources are about to run dry, when the crowd's enthusiasm begins to cool. To him, understanding the rhythm of scarcity was essential to survival. A resource that seems endless loses its meaning. Only when something begins to vanish does its true worth emerge. This insight reveals not just political wisdom, but a deep understanding of human nature that remains relevant centuries later. Modern psychology echoes Machiavelli's insight through the concept of loss aversion, a cornerstone of behavioral economics. Research by Daniel Kahneman and Amos Tversky shows that people experience the pain of loss about twice as strongly as they experience the pleasure of gain. This is why scarcity, whether of time, opportunity, or affection, immediately heightens our sense of urgency. When we hear phrases like limited time offer, only 2 seats left, or applications closing soon, our brains enter survival mode. The fear of missing out activates the amygdala, the brain's emotional center, triggering stress hormones that push us to act impulsively. Marketers, leaders, and influencers understand this perfectly. They don't just sell products or ideas, they sell... Yet, Machiavelli's lesson wasn't to fall for these tricks, but to master awareness. In life, many of us chase what feels scarce: attention, validation, success, without realizing that scarcity can be both a weapon and a teacher. When a job deadline pressures us, when love feels uncertain, or when time slips away, we confront our deepest fears of loss. The wise response, as Machiavelli would argue, is clarity, not panic. He urged leaders to act decisively but not recklessly, guided by understanding rather than emotion. Scarcity, then, is not our enemy. It's a mirror showing what we value most. Those who recognize this can use it not to manipulate others, but to focus their energy on what truly matters before the moment passes. Because, as Machiavelli warned, fortune rarely waits. Number 2, perceived scarcity versus actual scarcity. Machiavelli grasped a timeless truth about human behavior. Perception often holds more power than reality itself. He understood that if your rival believes your resources are limited or senses that you might retreat, they suddenly act differently, more urgently, more impulsively, and often more irrationally. The illusion of scarcity becomes a silent manipulator. In modern psychology, this phenomenon is well documented. Studies on behavioral economics, such as those by Daniel Kahneman and Amos Tversky, show how scarcity, real or imagined, can hijack rational thought. When people believe opportunities are limited, they tend to value them more. This is called the scarcity heuristic, a cognitive bias that drives everything from impulsive purchases during sales to emotional overreactions in relationships. In simple terms, our brains are wired to fear loss more than they value gain. In daily life, this plays out in subtle yet powerful ways. You might find yourself panicking because you think time is running out to achieve a dream, even though the only thing truly vanishing is your patience. Or you might cling to relationships that feel like they're fading, mistaking natural distance for loss. In both cases, perception rather than fact creates a sense of urgency that clouds your judgment. This is how the scarcity illusion traps us. It narrows our focus, accelerates our decisions, and makes us act against our better interests. Marketers use this tactic constantly with phrases like limited offer or only a few left, knowing it triggers the fear of missing out. Yet the same mechanism operates internally within the mind's private dialogue, pushing us to rush, grasp, and worry over things that may not be slipping away at all. Machiavelli's wisdom invites us to pause and question that inner alarm. Before reacting to a sense of urgency, ask, is this scarcity real or just perceived? The difference determines whether we act strategically or emotionally. True scarcity requires preparation, resourcefulness, and calm focus. Perceived scarcity demands awareness, the discipline to see through illusion. When we learn to separate the two, we reclaim control over our choices. The world may still pulse with deadlines, competition, and uncertainty, but our mind no longer dances to the rhythm of fear. In the end, the real power lies not in having more time, love, or opportunity, but in mastering the perception of what is truly scarce and what is simply imagined. Number 3, scarcity and control of attention. When something is scarce, it instantly captures our attention. Machiavelli understood this centuries ago when he observed that a prince who disappears from public view for a time returns with greater respect and influence. His absence creates anticipation. People project mystery, value, and importance onto what they cannot easily access. This same principle is alive in modern psychology and marketing. Limited editions, flash sales, and only a few left labels trigger urgency and fascination. Our brains evolved to detect scarcity as both a threat and an opportunity, a potential loss or gain that could affect survival. Neurologically, scarcity activates the limbic system, particularly regions linked to motivation and reward, such as the striatum and orbitofrontal cortex. It's why the fear of missing out, or FOMO, is such a powerful emotional driver. We are wired to pursue what seems rare, even if it's not objectively valuable. In everyday life, this principle applies far beyond economics or marketing. It shapes relationships, priorities, and personal boundaries. If you treat your time, energy, or attention as limitless, people subconsciously learn to treat them as disposable. When you are constantly available, your presence loses gravity. But when you deliberately create space, when you disappear to reflect, learn, or recharge, you increase your perceived worth. This isn't manipulation, it's balance. The value of anything, including yourself, rises when it's not oversupplied. By making your attention scarce, you train your mind to focus only on what truly matters. Scarcity, when used consciously, becomes a psychological filter. You stop chasing every opportunity and start choosing the ones aligned with your deeper purpose. This idea aligns with cognitive load theory and psychology, which shows that the brain's attention resources are finite. Overextending them leads to burnout and poor decision-making. By limiting where you invest attention, you actually expand your power. Machiavelli's insight, therefore, isn't just political, it's timeless wisdom about human focus and perception. Conscious scarcity transforms from a state of fear into a strategy of self-respect. You no longer give your energy to every demand or distraction. Instead, you cultivate silence, patience, and presence. Like a well-kept secret, your rarity amplifies your influence. In a world that glorifies constant visibility, the courage to withdraw becomes the ultimate act of power. Number 4, the danger of scarcity, anxiety. Here lies the shadow. When scarcity becomes constant, when you live with the mindset of not enough time, money, influence, love, the anxiety becomes pervasive. This mindset is more than a passing fear. It becomes a psychological trap. In behavioral science, it's known as the scarcity effect, the tendency for humans to assign more value to things that are rare or limited. When your mind believes resources are scarce, it narrows its focus, amplifies urgency, and triggers the brain's survival response. Machiavelli, centuries ago, recognized this truth in political form. He warned that if a leader shows fear of scarcity, the people sense weakness. His insight wasn't just about kingdoms, it was about the human psyche. Fear of loss, whether of control, affection, or opportunity, signals vulnerability, and vulnerability, when mismanaged, invites manipulation. When scarcity dominates the mind, clarity dissolves. You start chasing rather than choosing. Economists like Sendil Mullainathan and Eldar Shafir, in their research on scarcity psychology, revealed how this mindset reduces cognitive bandwidth. When the mind is consumed by not enough, it struggles to plan for the long term, leading to impulsive or desperate decisions. In relationships, it may appear as clinginess or fear of abandonment. In finances, it manifests as hoarding or reckless spending. Scarcity shifts the focus from strategy to survival. The mind becomes reactive, not reflective. Recognizing scarcity anxiety means catching the story before it takes over. That inner whisper that says, "I must act now, or I'll lose my chance." This narrative feeds urgency and hands your power to the external world. Every time you operate from that fear, you reinforce dependence on circumstances rather than cultivating self-mastery. The first step toward freedom is awareness, realizing that the scarcity story is a mental projection, not reality. Often the real scarcity isn't of resources, but of perspective. The antidote then is transformation, shifting from scarcity as a threat to scarcity as a signal. Instead of reacting, you respond. Instead of grasping, you ground. You begin to see scarcity as an invitation to prioritize, to focus on what truly matters rather than everything that glitters. Machiavelli's wisdom still applies. Power belongs to those who remain calm under pressure. Scarcity will always exist, but mastery lies in refusing to let it dictate your peace. The world may shout, "Not enough," but the wise mind whispers back, "I decide what is sufficient." Number 5, strategic withdrawal, using scarcity to cultivate value. Machiavelli understood one of the rarest psychological truths about power: scarcity breeds respect. In his observations of rulers and human behavior, he often emphasized the art of knowing when to appear, when to withdraw, when to show strength, and when to feign vulnerability. Each decision was not random but calculated. He knew that constant presence diminishes influence, while strategic absence amplifies it. The same principle applies beyond politics and into everyday life. When your presence, time, and energy are freely available, they lose their perceived worth. But when you limit access, when you choose when and where to invest yourself, you create an aura of value around your existence. People start noticing your absence, not taking your presence for granted. This is the psychology of scarcity. Studies in behavioral economics show that humans place higher value on things that are less available. From diamonds to time, from attention to love, the rarity of something increases its perceived importance. Machiavelli's wisdom aligns perfectly with this timeless truth. Withdrawal, then, is not weakness, it is strategy. It forces others to evaluate your importance and to realize what your presence contributes. When a leader or individual steps back, the silence they leave behind often speaks louder than constant noise. In modern life, this principle translates into setting boundaries and saying no. Boundaries are not emotional shields. They are instruments of self-respect and energy preservation. By being selective about where you invest your attention, you train others and yourself to recognize that your time is valuable. Psychological research confirms that people who maintain firm boundaries experience less stress, stronger relationships, and higher overall satisfaction. Limiting access does not make you distant. It makes your connections more intentional. When everyone can reach you at any moment, engagement becomes shallow. But when access is earned, it becomes meaningful. In a world that glorifies constant availability, Machiavellian restraint is a forgotten art. The wise understand that energy, like currency, must be managed. Saying no to distractions allows you to say yes to what truly matters: growth, peace, and purpose. When you treat your presence as a privilege rather than an obligation, you begin to shape how others perceive you. It is not arrogance, but awareness. Your worth increases not by how often you show up, but by how deliberately you do. In this balance between appearance and withdrawal lies one of the most subtle and powerful forms of influence. Number 6, reframing scarcity as purposeful constraint. Constraint is not always weakness, it's often the birthplace of mastery. Niccolo Machiavelli lived in a time of fragile alliances and finite resources, where the success of a ruler depended not on abundance, but on precision. Every soldier, every coin, and every decision carried immense weight. In his world, scarcity sharpened perception. It stripped away illusions and demanded clarity, forcing leaders to prioritize what truly mattered. In philosophy and Stoicism, this principle reappears under a different light: limitation as liberation. The Stoics taught that by accepting what we lack and mastering what we have, we uncover our truest strength. Marcus Aurelius wrote that obstacles are not impediments, but are pathways, barriers that train our endurance and reveal hidden capacities. Modern psychology echoes this idea in studies on constraint-based creativity. When options are limited, the brain enters a higher state of problem-solving, improvising in ways abundance never could. Musicians, writers, and inventors often produce their finest work under tight limits because scarcity breeds focus. The same applies to life. When you stop chasing everything, you start deepening something. By choosing less, you discover more depth, meaning, and purpose. The scarcity mindset transforms when we shift our internal narrative from fear to intention, from I lack to I choose. Suddenly, minimalism isn't deprivation, it's direction. Scarcity becomes a compass, not a cage. It points toward the essentials and filters out the noise. This is why some of the most disciplined minds, from monks to philosophers to leaders, deliberately live with less to gain more clarity and peace. In truth, constraint refines character. It forces discipline, creativity, and wisdom to emerge from within. When we learn to see limitation not as punishment, but as precision, we align with what Machiavelli understood centuries ago. Power lies not in possessing everything, but in mastering the few things that matter most. As we close, consider this. Scarcity is a mirror. It reflects what you value, what you fear, and what you chase. Like Machiavelli's prince, you are both the player and the board. The more aware you become of scarcity's silent rules, the less it controls you. Let not enough become a teacher of focus, a call to clarity, and a portal to meaning. And if you feel that familiar tug, the window closing, time fleeting, pause, breathe, ask, is this truly scarcity or the story I'm telling about it? The power lies not in what is gone, but in how you respond to its absence. If you found value in this reflection, consider subscribing for more calm explorations of psychology, philosophy, and the art of thinking. Until next time, stay aware.